guy to come on here. He is the one. He is the only. Nick Stevens, aka Fitzy, joining us from WEEI in Boston about what's going on here for the Patriots and what could be the end of an era. There it is. GFY, Dave, so you know, is go fuck yourself, which was Fitzy's long-standing bit for a long time, which has become, I have had a GFY sticker, Fitzy, on my fridge for 20 years. Just so you know. How are you, my friend?
Well, since you brought me on to talk about Bill Belichick and the entrance line was speaking about moving on from yesterday, that seems like a hell of a segue, Pearl. Actually, we're just here to talk about Kansas City.
You do a good Bill too, Fitzy?
Who's this guy? Jesus Christ. Sportsbook, yeah, that's great. Let's talk
the
about
show's called Bostonia versus the book. I've been listed to Peralt shit now for years in this Boston thing. Is this a big story outside of that area? Like, seriously, they're 3-10. Nobody cares about them. He said they were tanking. It's over. It's over. No.
Hey, listen. Let me tell you right now. First of all, aren't you a Pittsburgh fan?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for fucking up our job. Pursuit of getting the number
Why
one.
Why did you have to win? What the hell was that?
Mitchell Trubisky. That guy that guy stares freaking like burlap sack that has a dollar sign with money coming out of it in the middle of the street, and he goes, well, I don't want that. Hot chick walks up to him in the bar, takes off her shirt, and she's like, are you ready? He's like, what, for my next drink? Sure. He sucks. The Patriots did everything, Dave, they could to give the game back to the Steelers. I mean, Tavai was offside, and the referee invented an offside penalty. Jesus, mercy, and Joseph at the 50. Is this a big storyline? Yeah, outside of 93 and 495 of people talking Belichick and moving on from the greatest of all coaches. I mean, if it made Good Morning America today, Peralt knows my number one rule. If Stephanopoulos is talking about it, America's talking about it.
It is a big deal. Is it over? Look, Tommy Curran is close to the Patriots. I don't think he would come out and report this unless he had it from somebody pretty high up, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's funny, and I love Tommy Curran. Tremendous guy. Best sources I've ever heard. Tremendous. Curran knows what's up, okay? He is as plugged in as anyone to the Brady family, to Camp Belichick, the Crafts, and beyond. He's earned his seat at the table over the past quarter century as well. But I think Monday night, when he we had two sort of cats out of the proverbial Belichick bag this weekend. We had Curran Monday night on NBC Sports Boston saying that his sources told him after that game, Kraft takes 10 years to get the game in Frankfurt, and they can only get 6 points on the board. That freaking, Robert Kraft had to call Angela Merkel after the game and just be like, sorry, that was awful. It's not what I intended. Absolute shit show, right?
Right.
So I can understand that Robert, and then, Robert Kraft. I mean, guys, Robert Kraft became a meme after that game. You remember when Mac threw the pick and he was there in his puffy coat that was yay big, and he was just sort of sitting like, I imagine Jonathan and Josh and all the rest of the Kraft boys afterwards were like, that's it. When dad becomes a meme, that it's over. That's it. We let Belichick let Brady go, and then we got stuck with Bill in the divorce, and then Tom started, dating a really hot personal trainer, and we were stuck with Bill and all the Lombardis, and then he brought another one into the family. Fuck. And then Cam Newton, and then all the shit that's gone on. Oh. That was probably the final straw that broke the camel's back. So, yes, I do believe that Tom knows what he's talking about, but I don't think he intended it to go hyper viral like this with only 4 weeks to go in the season. I think he was just sort of speaking matter-of-factly, like, let's all start to come together and, round up on the idea that this is probably the victory lap for Bill. And then you got McAfee Saturday. All the good vibes of America's game. And, there's Robert Kraft sitting there with Pat McAfee, and McAfee's like, sorry, I got to do McAfee. Robert, we don't, going down the, don't envy you, we all know what you got to do. Okay. We don't envy you. And then Kraft, says nothing, and then Reese Davis is like, "Oh, this is awkward. All right, we'll be right back." They have since cut that off of the ESPN YouTube page. On College Game Day's YouTube video,
wow,
the McAfee and Kraft exchange is gone. That's sort of like if McAfee was sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table, all liquored up, hey, Dave, we all know what you got to do. We all know you're going to stick it out through Christmas and then you're going to bail on the miss. Oh, I mean, hey, kids, who wants pie?
Right.
Like, hey,
Right.
this is state secrets.
So, Fitzy, is he going to coach somewhere else? Or is he just going to ride off into the sunset?
Oh, no. He'll coach again. I think he always has wanted the all-time wins record, right? I mean, if he's the greatest coach of all time, he's 71. You've seen he's
going like to the Chargers.
Come on, you think this guy's given up? The team hasn't quit on him entirely, right? You still got the defense balling out for him.
For sure.
The defense is full of spare parts. The offense isn't even good enough to compete with the Battlehawks in the XFL, but they're gaming out each and every week the best they can, whether it's 6-0 in the rain against Staley and the Chargers, or if they pull off the upset against the Stillers. They're still showing up and showing out for him. Does he have enough left in the tank to coach? Because that's all. I mean, then you saw him on Saturday when he, was in his bag and he's putting on the Jolly Roger helmet and like the helmet that launched 1,000 memes. And Lee Corso is like, hooray! And everyone is just getting all the lovey football vibes. Do you think that guy who put on that helmet, who was out there like loving his football life, do you think that guy's done? Hell no. No. He wants Shula's record. When Shula called him Belichick in 2007, that's when he was like, "You can have your steakhouses. I'm coming for you, Shula. You overrate. You haven't done shit since you had since you had Greasy and Sonka, you piece of shit."
Yeah. Right, and he's coming for him and he wants him.
Right.
I mean, we've been told by people that we know that the Chargers are the most likely landing spot for him. Given that Dean Spanos looks up to Robert Kraft, that Kraft might be placing Belichick with the Chargers, saying, "Hey, Bill, thank you for 24 years, but we're going to move you over here and you're going to go to retire in Southern California."
Sounds good to me.
Do you think he would go to the West Coast? Because he's been an East Coast guy for so long. You think he would go to Southern Cal?
I mean, I can sell you on a million different reasons why he would work in Chicago, because there's great head coaching legacy, from Ditka and Hallis and, them being an original NFL team. Washington, that's where people forget also that Hallis went there. Lombardi finished up. He had his Michael Jordan on the Wizards portion of his career down there with the Washington, previously known as football team. Joe Gibbs, 2 stints. So Belichick, obviously, great historian of the game. The Chargers, it's the odd choice. To me, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Brady of Belichick options.
Oh, that's
You've got a star quarterback. You've got all these tent poles on defense, like all these guys that take Belichick 6 to midnight on defense, like Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. The defense will be nails. I'd heard that they tried to trade for Keenan Allen in the offseason. Now he doesn't have to worry about trying to make that happen. He can just go out there, work with a loaded offense, bring his team out there. And you've seen Belichick a couple years ago. Remember the Barbados Belichick pictures where he's like shirtless in the Daniel Craig mankini from Casino Royale in the ocean, and you're like, the goggles, they do nothing. He's got Matt, Dave, think about this. He'll go to LA. He will be a star again. Now he's still a star in Pat's Nation, though there are those that are just like, yeah, and I'll drive you to the fucking airport. And there are those that like, no, not Bill. It's my life.
Right.
Belichick is the last vestige of everything that me and Peralt and all the other Pats fans who have been thumping our chest for a quarter century saying, we're better than you because Brady, because Belichick. Like, that's it. Like, we are in turnaround, and it's back to the 1970s again. I don't mind embracing the suck. That's what I grew up in. I don't mind touching the bottom to realize how good life is back on the top again.
Right.
Okay. So that's what follows that. You're back to that Mosu Tapiopo Tupu and Russ Francis. And,
I'm not sure if you're ordering takeout or trying to list the names of players.
Right. Like
Mosi Tutupu. Yes. Mosi Tutupu. John Hannah, Mosi Tutupu, Russ Francis. Yep. Yeah. Mike Haynes. Exactly.
Roger Craig.
Okay, so like turn around.
Craig James. You mean Craig James?
Sorry, yeah,
Craig
sorry.
James.
I wish Roger
Yeah.
Craig James. Thank you.
Not
Sorry.
Roger Craig.
Yeah.
No, but like, who follows him? What in the world? What are they even talking about there? Like, it's not Josh McDaniel. It's not.
Oh
Is
God,
it?
no.
Okay.
No. I mean, that you want to talk like, hey, you know what? Let's turn this luxury liner over to the guy to McDaniels. That's like, hey, you only crashed one tanker into an iceberg. Actually, no, two. How about you like to take control of this luxury ship? McDaniels is done as a head coach. No, you guys full well know. You guys heard all the bad judge out in Vegas.
He said Mike Tomlin, Fitzy. Like, would Mike Tomlin work? No chance Mike Tomlin would work there.
No, I mean, no losing season since taking over in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's impressive, but no. I mean, personally, I kind of want I don't know about you, Matt. I want a flush from, like, I don't want anyone with any connections. It's time to just like,
I want Vrabel.
Okay, I mean, but he's going to cost equity.
Okay.
The Titans aren't going to give him up for free. So you won't, like, let's say Robert Kraft is able to take this, slightly used but still very workable Belichick and send it to the Chargers for a second, maybe even a first. You're going to have to immediately, in turn, send that down to Tennessee for Vrabel.
I'm okay. Yeah,
you're good with that.
Yeah, I don't think Gerard Mayo. I'm really concerned about Gerard Mayo. I'm concerned about. I feel like it's a stopgap that he'll be fired in 2 years. That it's just I want someone to come in. You're replacing the greatest coach of all time. Like, it's the most unworkable, an unenviable position of anybody to go into. You got to know what you're getting into from a head coaching spot. I think Vrabel knows that he's been there in Tennessee and been successful long enough that I think he can handle when the ship starts to take on water, because it's gonna be a rocky road and ride for the next couple of years, is it not?
Oh, hell yeah. But it has to be like you don't just come out of major surgery and then all of a sudden just go back to doing moguls or doing Ironmans. Right. Like, it's going to take a long time to sort of get back together, go through rehab, and see how you bionically come through all of this. I love the fact that Vrabel is his own man. He's his own coach, whereas the McDaniels and the Patricias and others have done Belichick impersonations to fleeting amounts to, and if not almost zero success elsewhere. Yeah. Vrabel is his own. He doesn't he listens to WDGAF, don't give a fuck radio. Like, that's what I love about him. And he'd come up there and embrace the challenge. I don't know if you saw, Matt, a couple of weeks ago, Ben Volen had a piece in the Boston Globe on a Sunday saying Mayo is the betting favorite. However, after Vrabel came to get his Patriots Hall of Fame induction in the red jacket, Robert Kraft had like a Dreamweaver Wayne's World moment with him. Like it was cool. He must be mine. Yeah. And he's fallen back in love with it. So it's a viable candidacy for sure. The Krafts would love to get Mike Vrabel. It's just at what cost?
Last one for me, Fitzy.
Yeah, bud.
Kansas City's a 9-point favorite this week right now in New England. They moved the game out on Sunday night. The total's 37.
Mistake right there. Why is it a mistake?
Who wanted to see that Sunday night?
All right. I'll just give you right now. You're probably watching the final 4 games of Bill Belichick as HC of the NEP. There's interest there. The Chiefs and the whole shit show that took place last Sunday. Now there's even more national interest. Can they pull off another play? Is Andy Reid pissed? Is Mahomes how mad is he gonna be? Hi, Hulk. And also, is Tay-Tay going to be in the house at Gillette?
She will.
That's the first ever stadium she's sold out. So you have all of that, plus the fact that the Zapper and company actually put on a decent show, especially in the first half against Pittsburgh. Yeah. I think it's going to be I think more people would be interested in Patriots Chiefs at this juncture than a one-armed Geno.
Patriots going to get killed, Fitzy?
No, I am paying for Christmas here. I am saying it right now on Boston versus the book. I am paying for Christmas. Give me the Chiefs money line and the Patriots to cover.
It's falling in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna middle the shit out of this one.
All right. So let me just ask you this.
Is that actually a betting term?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna middle the shit out of this one,
just
bro.
Like that. Perfect.
Yes. Hey, waitress, give me another 24-ounce vodka Red Bull. Put some whey in it. Let's go. I'm gonna middle the shit out of this.
What happens if the Patriots beat the Chiefs? Wouldn't this just be the most perfect Belichick moment to just stuff it down Andy Reid's right and just everything about it of just drive it down their throat to give them a third straight loss? I mean,
here
it
it is.
Can it
Yeah.
not?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, don't forget that the defensive coordinator or defensive mind that best game plans for Patrick Mahomes is Belichick. One of the true masterpieces of his coaching was that first half in the greatest AFC championship ever played. He had Hightower and Van Noy all up in the business and over the ass of every receiver, tight end, back, and Mahomes. They shut him out. If Brady hadn't thrown some fucking red zone interception, actually an end zone interception, that game might have been 24-0 at the half, and it would have been damn near over. That said, I shan't besmirch House Brady because he's the greatest thing that ever happened to each and every one of all of us. But, Belichick is great at defending Andy Reid. They've had a couple shootouts, but by and large, especially with Mahomes, he does a good job. If he pulls off the upset on Sunday and Mahomes and that 2013 Patriots level receiving core that he's bringing in with Mahomes and Kelsey, if they pull off the upset, you go out to Denver, you kick Russ right in the danger nuts on Christmas Eve. On New Year's Eve, you finally do what you didn't do last year, which is upset Josh Allen and the Bills. And then you finish by Belichick doing what he does best, beating the goddamn Jets. And then, ready for this? It's January 7th. It's a day after a holiday I'm sure Belichick celebrates, January 6th. He locks himself in the stadium. Pats fans with horns all show up. We have a whole coup, and he refuses to leave the building.
I ain't fucking leaving. It's not crazy.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm fucking leaving. 7-10. Can you imagine there be 7-10, the Patriots, and the year 7-10? That would be absolutely nuts. Before we have Dalton Johnson in the green room, so we got our run. But tell people where they can find your stuff. I know you're doing a ton of stuff in Boston. Your website, everything else. Where can they find stuff for you?
Always. Thank you guys for having me on. It's been really nice to connect, hang out, and talk some shit. At Fitzy GFY across all of the socials, and you can read my musings at WEEI.com, and of course. I do the Six Rings post-game show on WEEI following each and every Patriots game. And I'm on Mondays and Wednesday evenings with my pal, also from New Hampshire, Rich Keefe on the Rich Keefe Show on 93.7 FM, WEEI in Boston.
You're the best, my friend. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
You guys. Merry Christmas. Go Pats.
That is Fitzy.